So now, this is a segment that we do. It's called Ask the Bus Driver. Any questions that you guys have always wanted to ask a bus driver? You know, what's the deal with this? What's the deal with that? What do you guys do here? They will answer it for you. Who's got a question for the bus drivers? Erica, front row.
Okay, so it must be so annoying for you guys. Like when I have my bus pass and I just want to put like a fare and then tap it for transfer, it's like 6 steps.
It's not really that annoying.
I can't remember the steps ever. Is that how it's
First you
spelled?
wanna-
But
The first thing you want to do is definitely let the operator know, because there are a lot of people that just get on and put their money in, and they be like, "Hey, I want to transfer." Like, well, you're fucked. Like, you didn't tell me. Like, I can't do it anymore. Sorry. And they get upset. It's just like
So you
I'm
have
sorry.
to say, I mean, it seems like a lot of interaction for modern times. That's just what I'm saying.
You should like explicitly let the operator know what you want, because I can't read your mind. Like, I've had like a person like want me to kneel the bus down, lower it, but he never expressed that. He's just like standing there. I'm like, what are you gonna get on? He gets on. He's like, you should know what I want. Like, I wanted you to lower. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that? Like, you're just standing there. Like, I can't read your fucking mind, guy. You know?
I did have like a Larry David moment where I was like, what do you mean it's irreversible? What do you mean you can't still give me the transfer?
Now, I will say this, because for how it works for Big Blue Bus, is we have tap validators, but our fare boxes aren't enabled to do tap transactions. So we'll read whatever is on your tap card as long as you walk on the bus with it. If you have stored value, if you already have a pass, we have a validator that will say this person has a pass or this person has money, but we can't conduct any transactions. So I have the luxury of just completely removing the fare box and transactions from the equation. Now, I will have certain situations where somebody sticks in a $5 bill and says I want a day pass, to which I tell them anything that goes into the fare box over $125, the city just considers as a charitable donation. So.
Okay, next question right there, and then Victor's next, and then if anyone else has one. What's your name? And say it loud so we can pick it up on the mics.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, Laura.
Okay, Laura, what is your question?
I have a question about the mechanics of the kneeling bus, and I feel like there are those kind of like metal fingers that stick out to sense, right? Because isn't it like a sensitive bus where it like senses the ground?
Are you talking about, it's like a little wire sticking
Yes,
out?
exactly.
So that wire is really meant for the operator.
Okay.
When you hear it going off, that means you're getting too close to the curb. So
Oh,
that
okay.
the mirror might end up high-fiving someone, and that's a big-ass lawsuit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're called curb finders.
Got
and
it.
they're really just for the operators. The way the bus kneels is their airbags. So when I activate the kneel, the airbags will just deflate. And when I want to bring the bus back up, I'll just hit the switch up. The really annoying thing is if there's too many people on the bus, it won't come back up. So it's just like, please God, don't tell me to kneel the bus. Like, oh, can you kneel the fuck? You know? And I got stuck on the Silver Line doing that one day. I was working it. It was like 6 in the evening, and I was going toward El Monte, and I had like 60 people on the bus. Now at the time, Metro protocol for picking up wheelchairs was you kneel the bus and then you put the ramp out.
Right.
So I'm just like, but if I put the ramp out, I'm fucked. It's just like, well, that's Metro protocol, so let's do it. So I and I knew it was gonna happen. I kneeled the bus, I put the ramp out, I let the guy on, pulled the ramp back in, and sure enough, I fucking knew it. It's not coming back up. And I get off the bus and I'm just like fucking losing my shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is right next to Union Station, by the way. So there's Metro employees everywhere. But they all knew my frustration, because I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna be stuck here for a good 10 to 15 minutes until a mechanic comes out and fixes this shit. So, yeah. So that's how it works. That's the kneeling function works. I'm not sure how they work with Santa Monica buses, so you can go ahead and tell them that.
So we don't have curb finders because the city says we trained you well enough to not hit the curb. So anything that you hit, that's all on you. Now the mechanics pretty much work the same in the sense that what they're called are air bellows. So that's that hissing noise that you hear when you kneel it, that's just the air releasing. And then in theory, it's supposed to, when you flip it back up, it's supposed to fill back up with air, and then you go on about your way. And it doesn't always work that way. especially with some of the newer buses that Santa Monica has. So the cheapest transit bus on the market is built by, they're manufactured by a company called Gillig. And Santa Monica said, those are the cheapest buses. We're going to buy those. And you definitely noticed that off top, we knew that they were the cheapest buses on the market. They've only been in the fleet for, 2013, for about 6-7 years now. And some of them have already blown through transmissions. Some of them have already blown through engines. So when they kneel, there's this terrible thing that you have to do where if you kneel it down, the air will dump out, no problem. But when you kneel it back up, you have to reposition it. And the thing is, that's not a thing. That's not like, it doesn't say kneel, go back up, reposition. You actually have to play with the switch to find right where the spot is to get it back in gear. Because anytime that you kneel the bus or set the ramp out, it places what's called the driver interlock, which is you can't use the gas pedal. So you have to play with this switch. So I'm like, somebody asks for, like to kneel the bus, I'm like, same thing. So you kneel it down, and it's usually somebody who like needs it for like 2 inches, then skips down the aisle. And I'm like, so then like as soon as it's time to go, you're like, nope, that wasn't it. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay, what? No, nope.
And it was funny sometimes you'll get the sweet spot like for a second, but your finger was still on the switch, so it went up. You're like, oh fuck! So you gotta kind of put it down again, but you're not there. So you're just kind of fiddling around with it for a good maybe 5 minutes.
You missed 2 green lights, by the way.
Yeah. You'll miss a couple cycles, and you're just like, people are like, what the fuck? Here we go.
Yeah, but there's always some guy that's been sprinting for about a quarter mile.
Oh yeah, he'll catch the bus for sure. He's like, oh, and then he's like, hey, thanks for waiting, man. I'm like, yeah, no problem.
Okay, I have a question going back to my little anecdote a few minutes ago. When a bus just smells so triple ammonia bad, how do you make it from one end to the other?
3 words: Vicks Vapor Rub.
I never would have thought of that. It's brilliant.
I don't know the quality of smell on Santa Monica buses, but they're a lot worse on Metro buses, and especially my area, because I work out of Division 18, which does all of South Central, the 111, 115, 117, 120, 204, 207, just the shit lines. Lines you guys don't want to ride, all right?
That's my bus.
Right, hell yeah. So I'm used to some really, really bad odors. I've kind of developed this ability to just block everything out. Noises, smells. Really, I'm just like, just in autopilot. I'm like, yeah, I know it smells. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to get to the end so I can get the fuck off this bus. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I've just developed the ability to block everything out. So.
Wow. That's neat, though. I mean, because you got to have that Zen ability, to be doing that for 8 hours before overtime.
11 hours yesterday.
Wow. I can't even do this for 11 hours. Okay, who's got a question for the bus drivers? Okay, what's your question? What's your name?
Hi, I'm Jeremiah.
What's your question, Jeremiah?
So when I put my bicycle on the rack, I'm always scared that if it's like busy, if it's crowded, I'm always scared that when I get off, that the driver might accidentally, pull forward and I'll be chasing them down before I can get the bike. Has that ever happened?
Yes. To me, it has happened on the Silver Line. I had some guy get off. I was going towards San Pedro, so it was my southbound trip, and this is when I was still working afternoon, so it was busy as fuck. I had like maybe 50 people, all the students getting out of Cal State LA. I don't know if he was a professor or not, but he decided that it would be a good idea to get out the back door and not let me know he's getting his bike off. So I'm not really paying attention to anyone coming around. I'm kind of paying attention to like who's getting off, so that when the doors close, I can just check my left side and take off. So I close my doors and I check my mirror, and I kind of let go of the brake, and I turn around, I'm like, holy fuck! And he's standing right there, just like casually getting his bike off. I'm like, dude, I could have just killed you, right? Like, so whenever you put a bike on the rack, you want to come out the front door. Let the operator know, hey, I'm grabbing my bike. Don't run me over. So, yeah, that's. Yeah, please do that. I don't want to run anyone over.
For me, every single conceivable thing that can go wrong shy of actually hitting somebody with a bike has happened to me. So I've ran over 2 of them.
Bikes, not people, guys.
So I've ran over 2 bikes.
Santa Monica.
I've had somebody, like, I've watched somebody steal a bike.
Yeah.
So like I said, every conceivable thing that can go wrong with the bike rack, I've seen, like, shy of, like, you know, actually hitting somebody. So you always want to make sure that you go through the front door. You also, because I've ran 2 of them over, you always want to make sure that the handle goes over the apex of the tire. And the reason why is because those things are spring loaded. So every single time that the driver hits a bump or a pothole or something like that, it's going to shift. So if it's not over the apex, what's going to happen is it's just going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping. And I'm paying attention to the road, not the bike. So there have been plenty of times where you hit that one sweet pothole where it's just, you see the bike go up, you see it go down.
Oh no.
So that's happened to me twice. I've seen bikes get stolen. So one of the things that you might want to do,
Lock them up.
use a U-lock, but please, for the sake and the sanity of your bus driver, put the U-lock on the bike and not the bike rack. Because it's just one of those things that irk us. Like, seriously, you couldn't have that prep before we got going. You've been standing here for 10 minutes and you wait to set everything up as soon as I get here. So if you want to lock it up, do it, you know, like between, like, you know, the frame and the tire or something like that. So that way you can pop it on, pop it off. Keeps people from stealing, or at least it gives you a little bit of a deterrent. Always make sure you go through the front door. Or if you don't want to go through the front door, just yell out, "Hey, I'm getting a bike," and go through the back door. So those little things will, you know, streamline everything.
Cool. We got.
Also, sorry, just real quick. Don't go to the very back of the bus, because that's how your bike gets stolen, and you won't even know it. You'll get off at your stop and like, where the fuck's my bike? And then you're gonna ask me like, hey, what happened to my bike? Like, how the fuck should I know? Like, I don't pay attention to whose bike's who. Like, I got 1,000 people to worry about. Like, I'm not gonna pay attention to your bike, guy. Sorry.
I've actually seen bikes get swiped off the front that weren't mine. Very exciting. Just saying. You know, when you're riding the bus, you see someone jump at the stop, grab that bike and run, and the dude has that delayed reaction like, "Oh my God, that's my bike!" And they try to run off the bike of the bus and catch them. They're blocked down the road. They won't do it. I feel bad for them, but very exciting.
The driver, trace that man. No.
None
of that.
No, you know, but passengers really aren't sympathetic. They are empathetic, but they're not sympathetic because we have a place to go. Okay, we got time for one more question for the bus driver. Anyone got questions for the bus drivers? Then we're at. Oh, is there a question back there?
No.
Oh, yes.
So I'm using my tap card and it makes noises and it doesn't make consistent noises. So how do I know from the sound whether
Can you
or
give
not?
me an example?
Oh, I don't know. Using the voice is better.
So is the first beep just a regular like beep, or is it like
You know,
a?
when it does that one, I know.
Okay.
Sometimes it does this weird sound that sounds like
Any
it's
of
not
the
taking it.
any noise following that doesn't mean anything because it already charged your tap card. So what the fare box is, it's rejecting another payment. It's called passback. So if you hear the regular beep and for some reason you decide you want to tap it again, it'll make that weird like warble sound like. What's
If
that?
I do it too slow?
That yeah, sometimes so. Metro's equipment is very outdated, especially their fare boxes. It's like 20, no, not that old, maybe like 15 years old. So if you tap your card like look too fast, it won't read it. But if you tap it too slow as well, it'll kind of just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? The machine, you know, it's just like, I don't know what to do. So it's just like Metro really needs to start upgrading their technology. But I will say this, Metro does kind of like spend the extra money on buses. Like Gillig's are dog shit. Like compared to our buses, it's like ours are top of the line and they'll like all expenses on it. So I will say that, yeah, it's the people that fuck up your buses, guys. It's not us. Like we'll hit stuff, but we'll hit like walls and shit like that. We'll just like blow out a tire, but that's replaceable. So yeah, just that any noise after the initial beep, don't worry about it. You're right. And I don't know how it works on Metro on Santa Monica buses.
In Santa Monica, you're contributing to the Santa Monica Fund.
Yeah.
It's actually way more simple on Santa Monica. If it beeps, it's good. If it buzzes, it's bad. That's it. That's literally straightforward.
That was a better answer. Yeah, just same thing.
Awesome. Let's hear it for the bus drivers. Ask the bus drivers. Thank you guys very much. By the way, we have an email list right over there. Don't forget to sign that. And now is the time where we hand it off to you guys. It's time for the audience anecdotes. So I know we have some